This episode brought to you in cooperation with Portland Radio Project and Westicana Presents.
Ciao, sono Andrea della band Mbrascatu.
Hi, I'm Mark from Mbrascatu.
E state guardando PDX Spotlight.
You're watching PDX Spotlight.
Ciao.
Non andar via, che del passato non importa. Cade giù, la pioggia cade giù, mentre tu vai già all'inverno. Cosa farai nelle bufere? Ci si affoga. Portami nel fondo della notte. Salutami nel fondo del bicchiere.
Welcome to PDX Spotlight. I'm your host, Luke Neal. We are coming to you from the beautiful Old Church venue in downtown Portland, and I'm here with Andrea and Mark from Mbrascatu.
Thank you for
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. So I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. This is tough, but I want you to describe the sound of your music, because I would say it's like indie, alt, but it's got this Italian vibe that emanates from you. So how would you say that?
How do we call that genre?
You know, I always end up describing it to people as Italian lyric indie rock band with elements of tarantella and gypsy vibes. You know, but
It's hard to
not
describe.
that really puts a nail on it.
I try to avoid the words Italian because it's kind of people that doesn't know the band. Every time you use the Italian like a word, they think that this music for gondolas or like super sweet stuff, and Mbrascatu is totally something else. So when people, what kind of music do you play? I say like indie rock with some gypsy flavors.
Yeah.
So, and I never say them like, if somebody like asks more question, I say, okay, and the lyrics are in Italian. But most of the time I just leave it like there, like indie rock with some gypsy influence.
And I think you also achieve that sound, the gypsy sound, through like the violin or viola that's used on stage, your guitar rhythms, obviously the drum rhythms. And you're not always doing like 4/4 type stuff. You know, you've got an eclectic sound for your songwriting. So where do you gather that from? Where do these sounds come from for you?
Probably for my, I lived half of my life in Italy, so half of my life, for 35 years over there. So, and I'm from the south, and in the south we have a total different sound than the north of Italy, and so like we use a lot of tarantellas. And this tarantella is this upbeat sound, umta, 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 umta. I'm talking about the traditional stuff. And I travel a lot. I was in Mexico. I lived there for 1 year, so and I fell in love with the mariachi sound. So, and I end up over here, and where like in Portland, I think is a very good place to be, because the music scene is unbelievable. And I like to go. I'm going to see like concerts at least 2 times a week. So sometimes people that I don't know, just because I want to learn, I want to take and use all them ideas that you can take out there. So and Portland is great stuff. Like it's great place. So yeah, I mean like everything starts from the traditional like music from my town, in this case. That is Luzzi, and the region is Calabria, nearby Sicily. But I like to explore, and I like to mix stuff. Like, for example, like the traditional like music from my town with like indie music, and sometimes it's like psychedelic. I like to mix. I don't like to have like just one genre. And if you have like an album on Mbrascatu, most of the songs are totally different. There's no one song that is like close to the other one, also in the same album.
A song called Elementi. Saltare in danze pirotecniche, mentre una sposa si sposa, un'altra piange il suo uomo. Siamo elementi inimitabili, siamo elementi a volte odiabili, accecati dal potere, incontrollabili. Edifichiamo i palazzi sulle nostre macerie. Siamo elementi a volte odiabili. vulnerabili e rincorriamo il nostro vivere, non contemplando la vita, siamo elementi incurabili, elementi.
You recently released Elementi, and I liked it right off the bat. It's very diverse. One thing I dig too is right now in a lot of popular music, they really thin out the lead singer's vocal, and I love that they left your low end. Like, I think that's a lot of your personality on that record. And I want to talk to you about Elementi and your tour to Italy this summer. But before that, I want to get Mark's perspective, because correct me if I'm wrong, but you were a fan of Mbrascatu before you got involved with the band, right?
Absolutely.
So talk to me about, like, first of all, finding them, and how would you describe their music as a fan before you got involved?
Well, I'll go backwards. Like I said, as far as describing it, I definitely kind of see it as, that indie rock with those other elements. And I think, like Andrea was saying, a lot of that comes from, his background, as well as all of the diverse influences that he gets from constantly checking out musics in different places. And I think that's just a commonality that almost everybody in the band has, as far as all having diverse interests and backgrounds, So, members of the band have bluegrass roots, and, there are elements of maybe Afro-pop things. I think some of the guitar lines and things like that, and even some of the things I try to play kind of stem from some, Afrobeat influence and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just, for me as a percussionist especially, it's kind of my ideal band, because there are real traditional percussive elements, and then there's definitely the slamming, rocking elements. There are moments where I can be super subtle and sensitive and just kind of create textures and soundscapes, and then times where I just get to, hit hard and lay down pop grooves. And so it's kind of an ideal gig for me. And then the first part of your question, kind of how we ended up all connecting, was really originally through our friend Dan Sullivan, who used to play bass for the band. Mm-hmm. And we had worked together with Amanda Richards and in the area, and I subbed one show with the band, I guess.
It's one of the biggest, one of the biggest shows.
Yeah, at the Star Theater. And that was several years ago. And I guess kind of end of story until a few years later, and I had kind of left the area and came back and subbed a couple more times, and then probably about a year ago came on board regularly.
Thank you very much.
How was it to take it to Italy? I saw on Facebook they had a billboard with you all.
Yeah, it was like, for me, like the band is together for 6 years right now, and every year we say like, we must go in Italy this year, and we must go this year. But you know, all the people, they have like we work, like we have a day job too, so like it was hard to just take like 3 weeks or 1 month. So for me it was important because, you know, over here we focus a lot around all the arrangements, because a lot of people, they don't speak Italian in this country. So, and every time I say people like think about my voice like as an extra instrument. So,
sure.
And for me it was important to go there and perform it like over there, because people can understand what they're talking about. And I say like, I want to do it. I want to see what they think about this. You know, I send a lot of albums and like an MP3 to friends and people in Italy, but it's totally different when you perform in front of like a big audience.
Sure.
And you see what if they like or no, like, and they love it. And for me, it was like, okay, that's good. So we will probably go next year too, maybe with like more time and more gigs to play.
Yeah, sometimes as an artist, you're able to hide behind your lyrics and metaphor, especially here. If an audience member doesn't speak Italian, you can hide behind that, and you know, they can perceive whatever they want. Was it a little bit more nerve-wracking in Italy, knowing that they knew what you were going to be saying?
I was actually I was very, especially because the first show was like the biggest one was in my town, and honestly I was like we played together, and we played like a good sized venues, also festival over here, but playing in Italy and playing in front of people that probably I grew up with, and there were like 700 people at the amphitheater over there, and I felt like so nervous because I said, now really people can judge me, you know. So, but honestly, at the end of the show, people came like, and they were like, and they said, "We love what you're doing." And like it was, for me, it was like, I felt very good.
Yeah.
And also, if I was shaking when we started the first song, I was like, and I told the audience, like, guys, you cannot believe it, but we play all over the place. But tonight, I feel like so nervous, like the first time, like somebody that just play for the first time.
Yeah.
And after the first couple couple songs and everything, everybody loved it. And then you can see if the audience really is with you or just is there. And wherever we play, we have a good response. So for me, but I think also for the rest of the band, but for me it was more important because this was like put there like my song with the lyrics that I write, and see the people liked was very good. I love when people love over here too. Sure. By the way, there's an element, an extra element that is the lyrics and the words. So they receive very well. So
the songs were reached to their full potential.
Yes, correct.
That's fantastic. Mark, how was it to see Andrea in his element, kind of like a kid in a candy shop in Italy?
Oh, he was definitely a kid back in his element there, and it was cool to be part of the band there and get to start off that tour in Luzzi because, like I said, huge crowd came out, which was kind of surreal to be playing here for groups that often aren't nearly that size and go halfway around the world and have that many people at your first show that you play. It's pretty cool. And just the personal connection that so many people have with some of the material. I mean, one of the most popular songs we play here is San Francesco Bar, and the amphitheater where we're at, the amphitheatro, was, right behind our backs across the street was San Francesco Bar. So you go in there and the song would be playing constantly, and people have a lot of pride, not only in something just that song, but
sure.
in him coming from that area and coming here and getting to be part of him bringing that music back there was pretty cool.
Next time you visit, they'll have a bronze statue in the town center.
I think they're working on it.
They work on it. Just kidding.
So what are your plans for 2017? What are some of your goals, if you have any?
Probably, I would like to have another CD. I'm working on some stuff, but lately we didn't have a lot of time to be together and try to write. But probably in the next year, I guess probably in the next 6 months, something will come out.
Fantastic. Well, we're looking forward to it. Tell your fans how they can find you online.
He's the master of the internet guy.
Definitely Mbrascatu.com, or it's a rather original name. So you search that on any of the social media channels, you'll definitely find it. So definitely all the Facebook and Twitter and everything.
Fantastic. Well, thank you both for being here at the Old Church with us tonight.
Thank you very much,
Thanks
guys.
for having us.
Thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, Mbrascatu.
Bye. Ciao.
La rivalsa la lascio a voi. Io ho altro da fare del mio tempo. Nel sorriso di un figlio rivedrai la felicità. E tutti i tuoi sbagli ripercorri, ma sai gli sbagli sono umani, gli sbagli sono umani. C'è chi vince e chi perde, chi mai giocherà, chi nelle tante menzogne trova la propria verità. Siamo nel baratro, in questo mondo che va giù, dove siamo arrivati, ma sai gli sbagli sono umani, gli sbagli sono umani. E se siamo a sentire un alto grido sentirai, ci hanno rubato anche sogni in questa insana società. Sempre nel baratro, in questo mondo che va giù, quanti diavoli, ma sai gli sbagli sono umani, gli sbagli sono umani. Thank you.